Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Manisha Chawla, on behalf of Department of Telecommunications, Government of India, and the Cellular Operators Association of India. It is my privilege to welcome all the distinguished delegates, speakers, and participants virtually joining us this morning for the second day of the 5th India Mobile Congress 2021, being virtually conducted with the visionary theme of connectivity for the next decade. Yesterday, it was a great honor to have the Honorable Union Minister for Communications, Electronics and Information Technology and Railways, Government of India, Sri Ashwini Vaishnav, inaugurating IMC 2021. I hope you all are enjoying every discussion on the platform. In today's industry Emeritus Session, Shaping the Vision of a Connected India, we are immensely thankful and would like to welcome the illustrious dignitaries. Mr. Himanshu Kapania, Chairman Vodafone Idea Ltd, Mr. Akhil Gupta, Vice Chairman Bharti Enterprises, Mr. Erik Ekudden, SVP and CTO Ericsson, Mr. Mritunjay Kapur, KPMG. The telecom sector is one of the chief movers of an economy and a key enabler of transitioning India to a digital society. This session will bring together telecom industry emeritus to discuss the future developments in the Indian telecom sector in terms of prudent policy reforms, infrastructure development, customer-centric services, convergence with emerging technologies, etc., and how an enabling environment and a robust telecom sector can uplift the Indian society by removing the digital divide in the nation. May I now request Mr. Himanshu Kapania, Chairman Vodafone Idea Ltd, to address the telecom fraternity.
Good morning to all our telecom partners and friends from the industry. It's my honor to address all of you at this August Emeritus session of the India Mobile Congress IMC 2021 on the theme of shaping the vision of connected India. What does it take to turn the aspiration of 1.3 billion Indians and 63 million MSMEs into a US $1 trillion digital economy by year 2025? It's a vision of a truly connected India. As the second fastest digitization nation in the world, India ubiquitous wireless broadband infrastructure currently on 4G and in future 5G technology will be the foundational backbone to fuel this growth for the estimated 1.2 billion internet users and billions of connected devices. It is with this background that we should visualize the recent path breaking announcements by the government to herald the country into what I call Telecom Revolution 3.0. The famous Telecom Policy 1999 can be termed as Telecom Revolution 1.0 that allowed the pioneering mobile operators to connect India on voice second generation GSM network over 5.5 lakh towns and villages to a seamless connected always on voice era. Then the National Telecom Policy 2012 introduced us to Telecom Revolution 2.0 when large chunks of spectrum was auctioned and freely traded, allowing the mobile operators to build nationwide robust wireless broadband network covering over 4 lakh towns and villages and serving the existing 750 million internet users. This year, 2021, the Prime Minister encouraged, Cabinet approved telecom reforms, heralds us into the new telecom revolution 3.0, sending strong signals to the world on the government's commitment to build higher capacity broadband networks and introduce future technologies on pan India basis. It's inevitable the present 4.5G and the next generation telecom networks will become the backbone of India's digital economy vision, delivering scale, innovation, and progress. I visualize that the telecom revolution 3.0 will again reshape the way we digital consumers work, heal, learn, shop, enjoy. That's basically live, as well as transform enterprises into digital way of working by adoption of smart technologies like artificial intelligence, edge and cloud computing, IoT, robotics, blockchain, and many more. Today's theme is on connected India. So, what will shape the vision of a truly connected India? A truly connected India will address the digital needs of A, 1.3 billion Indians far beyond mere internet access and access to social media, and B, help transition 63 million MSMEs from the current analog way to a smart way of working. Let's start with what is connected India for consumers. Today, not only the common man, but also the government is leveraging the power of digital for accelerated growth. All major government initiatives from Aadhaar, Arego Setu, or UPI have been driven through digital platforms. The COVID 19 pandemic has further facilitated the digital adoption across various facets of our life, be it business continuity through the work from home solutions, online education, online health service, online entertainment, online shopping, and many more. No doubt the change brought about by the pandemic is not temporary. It's created a new order. The fundamental shift initiated by the pandemic will become a permanent way in the way every profession works, be it doctor, teacher, artist, retailers, office goers, and even homemakers, whether operating in a metro or a small village, helping bridge the digital divide. The change is inevitable as digital consumption shifts primarily from social media and entertainment usage dominated by millennials to emerging applications across fields like financial services, education, health, e commerce, and many more across all demographics. For example, the transaction volume share of digital payments in India is expected to rise from 39% in year 2020 to over 70% by 2025, forcing banks to rethink their brick and mortar strategy. India's e-commerce sector is expected to reach $111 billion by 2025 from current $46 billion, allowing growing at a scorching pace with groceries and apparels likely to be the key driver for incremental growth. We are also witnessing rapid transformation of education as many startups try to satiate the demands of diverse learning and knowledge needs of India to be met primarily online. Similar trends can be spotted in the health segment, where we see rise in the use of digital platforms for online monitoring of vital organs and remote healthcare services, etc. The excitement of these tech companies transforming sectors like finance, education, health, e commerce, logistics, etc., is palpable, with these new age companies having collected over US 30 billion worth valuation from recent IPOs, promising the arrival of a new digital tech era. India's demographic dividend of over 65% of population below the age of 35 years will fast forward the digital adoption across urban and rural India, bridging the digital divide. But all this digital transition will only be possible through India's telecom backbone. Its high speed wireless broadband network needs to be strengthened to satiate the needs of these bandwidth hungry digital consumers. In the last 5 years, India has moved from a non-entity to world's number two broadband market with 750 million users, each consuming 14 gigabytes per month, globally the highest broadband usage per customer. As the vision of a truly connected India unfolds, the India data consumption is projected to increase to 25 gigabytes per user per month. The number of digital consumers are also expected to rise to nearly 1.2 billion users. This will require aggressive wireless and wireline capacity expansion, investments from existing capacity, which is close to 400 petabytes per day, to nearly 1,000 petabytes per day over the next 4 to 5 years. But this is not all, as this bandwidth demand only covers the connected vision of one segment. the Indian digital consumers. The mobile operators also have to cater to the exponentially accelerating needs of Indian digital enterprises and emerging demands from billions of connected devices. So, what is the vision of a truly connected India for enterprises? While significant strides have been made in the adoption of high speed broadband by consumers, we are at a nascent stage in unlocking value from connected enterprises. The pandemic has accelerated digital drive and enterprises will fast forward industrial automation, improving both productivity and efficiency. The advent of multiple IoT applications will force enterprises to adapt to smart technologies, especially in the sectors of manufacturing and transportation. We at Aditya Birla Group, supporting multiple manufacturing plants across metals, textiles, cement, chemicals, etc., have embarked on a journey to adapt the latest industrial 4.0 technology. This era of smart manufacturing will bring together three key technology megatrends: connectivity, intelligence, and automation. With an array of sensors being executed in plants, connected systems will enable us to get real time feed and co sharing across multiple systems of organizations. With machines talking with each other, the output of one system can serve as the input for others across the chain. Real time granular data will enable our enterprises to take quick and coherent decisions, making plants more agile and flexible. Complete visibility of processes will help in tracking of raw materials, intermediates, and finished goods. The country is gearing itself to showcase global standards of automation and connectivity in its latest manufacturing units, just like the decorative paints plants being built by Aditya Birla Group Company, Grasim. Similarly, the transport sector will witness even faster revolution, much beyond electric vehicles. Connected autonomous cars will be reality in the next few years and make travel safer, reliable, and faster. As communication and connectivity improves, logistics and supply chains will become more effective and the cost of trade will diminish, all of which will open new markets and drive economic growth. Similar digital disruption is also expected in other sectors, namely agriculture, utilities, smart cities, smart homes, and retail. The truly connected Indian enterprises during this decade are expected to connect over 10 billion devices, demanding significant higher internet bandwidth and low latency broadband networks. Enterprise connected devices capacity requirement using IoT, edge and cloud computing technologies are expected to fuel additional demand. Hence, the vision of a truly connected India needs to serve the demands of both digital consumers and smart enterprises. The Indian telecom operators needs to invest aggressively to meet the burgeoning demands over the next decade and help translate US 1 trillion digital economy dream into a reality at the very earliest. What gives us confidence that the telecom sector will be able to support the demands of the Digital India program, envisioning a truly connected India? I believe the recent policy unveiled by the government in the current year will allow Telecom Revolution 3.0 to become a reality. The slew of structural and procedural reforms announced by the government this year will have far reaching impact in shaping the telecom future. The structural reforms, including rationalization of bank guarantees and redefinition of AGR, B, certainty of availability of spectrum every year and high validity of spectrum lease, C, 100% foreign direct investment under the automatic route, D, addressing liquidity needs of the industry with longer period of moratorium of all dues to the government, and E, trust shown by the government by converting partially its debt to equity for a long-term better gains will pave the way to attract significant fresh investment needed to expand mobile broadband capacities multifold and introduce new technologies in the telecom sector. The global investors and analysts are acknowledging the shift in the vision of the Indian government. From its past approach of treating telecom as a revenue generator versus the new policy direction treating telecom as an infrastructure provider for digital services, paving the way for India's vision of becoming a top three economy by year 2030 through growth of digital services. Finally, a word on our company, Vodafone Idea, a key pioneering and important player for Connected India. Born just in year 2018 out of a merger of Vodafone India and Idea Cellular, has completed the arduous task of integrating two live telecom networks while supporting over 250 million mobile subscribers. At scale and complexity, the integration of two nationwide live networks was first of its kind around the globe. Kudos to the VIL management for having managed this integration at scale and speed never executed anywhere in the world. I understand VI now delivers a network rated amongst the fastest in terms of broadband speed by multiple third party audit agencies, including Ookla and OpenSignal. With the recent government support and trust, brand VI is gearing itself to expand its mobile coverage and capacity to meet the needs of digitization. It remains committed to be Digital India's choice backbone telecom network required to meet the vision of a truly connected India and support digital aspirations of 1.3 billion Indians and 63 million MSMEs. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Himanshu Kapania. It is always enlightening to hear from you. Now I take this opportunity to invite Mr. Akhil Gupta, Vice Chairman, Bharti Enterprises, to address the conclave.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts at this very important conclave. Indian mobile industry has indeed been a paradox for everybody who has watched it over the years. On one hand, its potential has been unquestionable with a very large population of 1.3 billion people, an ever expanding middle class, and a very young population which is prone to consuming data in hordes, which is, of course, very clear from more than 10 GB per month consumption of data in the country. On the other hand, for the last several years, this has been absolutely the worst performing sector in the country with very serious financial strains affecting the companies that operate in this sector. Now, the reasons for that are pretty clear. One, very unsustainable and artificially low tariffs, very high spectrum prices, and a big blow which the industry and the players faced in terms of the massive AGR related demand, which were confirmed by the Supreme Court. I am very pleased to note that IMC 2021 is now taking place at a juncture when finally this sector can see light at the end of the tunnel. This has been possible because of main two developments. Number one, a very bold and pragmatic approach taken by the Government of India in introducing a package which provides the much needed temporary financial relief by way of deferment and conversion at the option of the operator of some part of the dues. And two, and perhaps more important, is the recent hike of 20 to 25% in tariffs announced by all private operators. Now, I believe that while the government measures will provide some temporary relief, I think it's more important step that the tariff increase is happening. But quite clearly, the increase in the tariffs is a significant, but must be seen as a small step towards sustained financial performance of this sector. This is particularly so since we are looking at the impending large investments in 5G coming up very soon, which could again push the sector into deep financial stress. To me, this industry to be financially secure and to be stable on a sustained basis, we will need an ARPU of at least 300 rupees a month, that is just about $4 per month, which incidentally will still be amongst the lowest in the world, with perhaps the lowest tariff anywhere in the world, still after these increases. Now, it's very clear that for India to move forward in this industry, we need to be at the forefront of 5G revolution that is taking place. We also need to ensure that 5G is taken to every part of the country and is not confined to merely some top cities. The National Digital Communication Policy envisages broadband internet for everybody, which to my mind, only 5G would be able to provide. Therefore, the pursuit of 5G remains a very important agenda for the Indian mobile industry in the years to come. However, to attain this potential, I think there are a few absolute musts on an urgent basis which we need to ensure. First and foremost, the spectrum price needs to be very rational. It is very pertinent to note that NDCPC clearly states that the government objective is not to maximize revenue from telecommunications, but to provide broadband for all. I think it's about time that the government walks the talk and actually implements this. I'm very happy to note that TRA yesterday has started a consultative process regarding regarding the 5G spectrum pricing, and I do hope that this time around we will settle for reserve prices which are very nominal, but with very stringent rollout obligations, which will enable the operators to invest more in networks and a little less in spectrum. Of course, the 5G spectrum will be allotted by way of auction, and therefore, in case of high demand, the government revenues will be protected. The second very important feature is about the right-of-way policies, for which I must acknowledge and thank DOT for relentless effort. They have come out with guidelines which are very robust. The problem is that some of the state governments are still not aligned. They don't realize the potential and the necessity of telecommunications for India to become a real digital economy. I think an urgent need is to get this alignment, come out with very sound, fair policy on right of way, which should cover not only telecom towers, fiber, but also now street furniture, which will become extremely important for 5G rollouts. Finally, I think like we have seen the benefits in case of sharing of towers, the scope of IP1s who primarily run passive infrastructure in the form of towers today needs to be expanded to include some active elements. This part has actually already been approved in the NDCP and has been recommended by TRA for long. Such sharing will not only ensure massive savings in capex and opex, but will also ensure that our cities are not continuously and regularly dug up because of right of ways. This sharing, to my mind, will become an important element for success of 5G. I have no doubt that henceforth Indian mobile industry is poised for some very significant growth. We know we need to ensure that this growth comes with very sound financial health and is not confined to a few cities, but is spread across India. Now, this is the financial health in particular is very important because this is one industry which consistently and continuously needs investment to match up for the evolving technologies. I have absolutely no doubt that looking at the intent of all stakeholders involved, that is the government, the regulator, and the private players, we will work together and combine our forces to provide broadband to all as is envisaged by the National Digital Communications Policy. Thank you very much and my best wishes for a very successful IMC 2021.
Thank you, Mr. Akhil. It is always a privilege to hear from you. May I now take this opportunity to invite Mr. Erik Ekudden, SVP and CTO Ericsson, to please share his views.
Good morning and welcome to day 2 of the India Mobile Congress. It is my pleasure to be here at the India Mobile Congress and join the ongoing conversations on the role that connectivity has been playing in India and can play in the future, especially in the context of the 5G technology that India is planning to introduce in the coming year. I would like to start by saying that given the strong role the telecom sector has played in keeping countries connected during the pandemic, the value of mobile connectivity in our society is more apparent than ever before. Its high performance, of course, the reliability and the versatility are undeniable. Mobile connectivity does really much more than help support our current living standard. It also provides a stable and reliable platform for economic growth in the years to come. Connectivity has been playing a critical role in building out the Digital India program, be it in e-governance initiatives, electronic delivery of services, internet access itself, of course, financial inclusion, and many more, all aimed at making India a digitally empowered society and a knowledge economy. The latest mobility report from Ericsson and the data in that shows that today 68% of mobile subscriptions in India are running on 4G LTE. So now let's turn to 5G, the new and the biggest innovation platform ever. With the benefits of 4G services being availed by consumers, even in remote access corners of India, we cannot underestimate the importance of broadband and connectivity towards the social and economic development of the country. In fact, India today has the highest data consumption per smartphone user per month compared to any other country in the world. If the past 6 to 8 years have been about massive data usage and the shifts in consumer behavior, the next decade will be one of connecting everything that can be connected. The applications that will run on top of 5G will create major value for society, for consumers, of course, but also for businesses. And that's really where 5G comes in as a platform for innovation. While previous generations were centered around consumers and personal communications, 5G will serve consumers, of course, but also enterprises and take the Internet of Things to the next level, where superior connectivity is a prerequisite. And we're rapidly moving into a new space, connected machines, connected vehicles, of course, wearables, and many other things. And from within these spaces, entire new enterprises and business models will emerge and deliver new value opportunities across manufacturing, across transport, healthcare, energy, and many, many more. According to our mobility report estimates, 5G will become the dominant mobile access already by 2027. So 4.4 billion 5G subscriptions are forecasted by the end of 2027, accounting for some 49% of all mobile subscriptions at that time globally. 5G networks are estimated to cover some 75% of the world's population in 2027 and carry 62% of all mobile data traffic. Now, given India's ambitions for digitizing society, we expect 5G to play a fundamental role by increasing broadband connections, improving rural coverage, thus bridging the digital divide, and enabling Industry 4.0 and increasing contribution of the digital communication sector to India's GDP. According to our forecasts, 5G will contribute 39% of all mobile subscriptions in India by 2027. Now let's turn a little bit back to 5G and the rollout and the global leadership in the world. Today, there are more than 180 5G networks live globally, with more than 1,000 5G device models commercially available. Ericsson is proud to power over 100 of those live 5G networks in 46 countries today, with 169 commercial 5G agreements signed. And 5G subscriber uptake is really getting good momentum now, and we foresee that 5G will cover some 25% of the world population already by the end of this year. Now, back to India here and the impact of 5G. In India, we've been working with our partners, the service providers, to showcase the potential of 5G to open up new possibilities for consumers and enterprises. We've demonstrated enhanced mobile broadband and fixed wireless access use cases with 5G. And fixed wireless access is an efficient and scalable complement to fiber and cable that can help to bridge the digital divide in India by providing high-speed broadband coverage even in the remotest of geographies. The possibilities with 5G are immense, and we do expect more applications to be developed for India once 5G is launched in the country. And in the initial stage of 5G introduction, we do expect 5G to serve as a capacity enhancer for the increasing data traffic on the networks that we have today and provide an enhanced mobile broadband experience for customers. For consumers, 5G really means better performance, ultra-high speed, and reliability. But more importantly, we will see many new transformative use cases in critical IoT with the speed, the latency, and security of the 5G network. They will really be key. So we're looking at examples of autonomous deliveries with 5G, drones for inventory management or surveillance, but also remote education and manufacturing use cases in the early introduction of 5G. All of these use cases are as relevant for India as they are for the rest of the world. So we have set up 5G labs, including with Capgemini in Mumbai, that will demonstrate the latest 5G use cases to organizations, as well as to help them to build, to monetize, and to strategize the latest generation of network technology. When it comes to industries, our studies show that manufacturing, energy, utilities sectors, and healthcare and public safety represent significant opportunity areas in India wherein the benefits of 5G can truly be realized. So bringing 5G to enterprise in India will not only serve to enhance their own competitiveness, but given the IT talent and the plethora of startups in India, they can make a strong contribution to the fast developing global 5G app ecosystem going forward. So at Ericsson, we've set up our global AI accelerator in India that is focused on R&D in artificial intelligence and automation. So all in all, I would say that there's a good foundation for 5G uptake in India. And according to estimates, India is the third largest 5G smartphone market already. And our consumer lab studies show that consumers in India are willing to pay a premium for 5G plans bundled with great digital services. So India can certainly benefit from the fast maturing 3GPP-based 5G device ecosystem once 5G is launched in the country. So in conclusion, 5G and digitalization must really be viewed as a critical part of national infrastructure, every bit as vital as trains and roads. So introducing 5G sooner rather than later will also ensure that the industry in India can derive the benefits of 5G at the same time as industry players in markets where it's already been introduced. The 5G capabilities and speeds require a significant amount of spectrum. It is therefore important that affordable spectrum is made available to the service providers. And India has already embarked on its digital transformation journey with its Digital India program. And I'm confident that 5G will really provide the foundation that will see Indian industry innovate and digitize even more rapidly, thereby creating significant economic value for the country. And based on our technology leadership and experience with 5G deployments across the globe, at Ericsson, we are in a good position to support India on its 5G journey. So I would like to conclude by saying that at Ericsson, even as we enable Indian customers to enjoy the benefits of 4G technology today, we stay committed to support India on its 5G journey so that India can harvest the potential of 5G to the fullest. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Erik. It was inspiring to listen to stalwarts such as you. May I now please request Mr. Mritunjay Kapur, KPMG, to address the conclave.
Hello, everyone, and it's a real pleasure to be here and to be talking to all of you through our favorite digital medium of the last 2 years. So at the outset, I would like to congratulate IMC for hosting this phenomenal event. We're extremely proud of our association with IMC over the last few years, and it's truly commendable how IMC has been able to raise the bar of the event with every passing year. As we all know, COVID-19 impact has indeed led to transformative changes, whether it's global supply chain realignments, redefined leadership vision, and hugely evolving business and revenue models. The year 2021 has also been a year where the economies have started reviving, and India has done well, and India is on a path of real growth for the future. World over, digital is the key driving force that is innovating businesses and operating models, and the TMT sector has a pivotal role to play as a digital transformation takes dominance in boardrooms agendas. Actually, it already has taken dominance. The upsurge in demand from both end users and businesses has reinforced a positive outlook on the growth of the sector, and companies are capitalizing on the growing digital economy world over. And India is at that threshold where we are now shaping the vision of connected India and really trying to define what will this country look like in the next 5 to 10 years. And I can tell you that the future looks really, really bright. Now, if you look at the TMT sector, or if you look at the telecom sector specifically, which is really the backbone of digital transformation, the industry has gone through its evolution over the last 30 years. It's been a ride which has had a lot of great moments. It has been a ride which has had not so great moments and some very down or low moments. But I can tell you at this point of time, if we were to create a connected India, it would be on the back of the telecom backbone. And I guess the sooner we recognize it, the sooner we empower that sector to take that leap and bound, the sooner we will be able to achieve our dream. Although ever evolving, the TMT sector today is going through massive disruptions. For years, telecom service providers have struggled due to the challenges presented by the market: cutthroat pricing, high capital expenditure, high market saturation are the few challenges that they have looked at. Then ever declining ARPU. It's always been declining, even though we've had a few shifts on a different trajectory over the last few weeks. But navigating through these troubled waters has not stopped the sector from playing a pivotal role in shaping the digital economy of the country. From removing the digital divide, from meeting the data surge, and from changing the urban consumer behavior to innovating solutions beyond connectivity to enterprise segment. To be honest, if this sector was not robust, the last 2 years that we've all had to sit at home and talk to our PCs would have been a very different story. And especially in India, with such a large population, and that population having to work sitting at home in most of the sectors, I think we would have been in a very difficult space. All kudos and all my congratulations to the sector for tiding us over these last 2 years and putting us in a place where the world looks like a different opportunity for India. I mean, the 10% growth or double digit growth really does seem a reality, but that reality is only going to come if we transform ourselves to be connected, to be digitally enabled, to leapfrog from the Western world or the so-called developed world into the new world of technology, digital enablement, and empowerment. I mean, we have to expect that the disruption in business models are going to come through emerging technologies like IoT, AI, robotics. But more importantly, what technology is going to do or on the backbone of telecom is going to really be reforming the social sector, connecting the unconnected, and changing the consumer behavior at really unprecedented speeds. I think the social impact that telecom digitization connection across our country has is just unthinkable. Connecting happened. The first stage was when the mobile phone came into the hands of every single Indian. The second was the whole banking system, which enabled financial independence for vast majorities of our population. And this third phase of digitization, which largely connects your technology or your telecom through your financial services, through the handheld device, is what is really going to connect us and reform and provide us with that ability of reforming our social landscape, of making lives of millions, and I wouldn't say billions, but millions and millions of Indians much, much better. Now, the important element of all of this is 5G. And I think to gear itself for the 5G launch and the unlimited opportunities that are likely to unfold, the telecom sector has made significant investments, upgrading core capabilities, cloudification of it, and visualization of its networks, to experimenting with open RANs. Telcos are transforming their network capabilities to meet multifold increase in connectivity requirements from M2M communication and other advanced applications. Really, the whole digital vision or the whole connectivity in our country has to be driven through the transformation that the telcos are going. If we are serious about Industry 4.0, the one way to achieve that is to enable this entire sector to provide those services with the digital technology manufacturing ecosystem to take us to the next phase of manufacturing, which is really a dream in India that needs to get fulfilled. So 5G services are absolutely critical for this change. But it's also important that in this whole transformation, the telcos actually undergo a complete overhaul of their OSS and BSS systems. And it looks like they have done that. That IT and network functions have been significantly enhanced, and they are on the path of further enhancing. And I think at some point of time, we will see the telcos emerge as platform businesses, businesses which enable all other businesses around them and actually provide that B2B and B2C capability for us to leapfrog into the next economic cycle that the world is going through. I must also put out that in order to accurately tap into and unlock business value, a robust connective infrastructure will play a crucial role in powering digital adoption in the country. Although telecom players are making strategies with multiple players to bolster their ability to deliver 5G functionality, there are challenges in the form of high spectrum prices, significant infrastructure investment requirements, and policy concerns to bring 5G into India. I think the one important element for all of us to recognize is that the telcos have to be profitable. They have to have a viable business model. Because if this sector is viable, is thriving, the rest of the economy and the nation is going to thrive on the back of the same. So I guess it has to be critical for us, for the government, in general, for the industry to make sure that this sector is not just left on its own, trying to struggle and trying to come out of its financial woes as it has been doing in the past. The government, on its part, has continued to play a crucial role in ensuring timely access to telecom services and to support a digital economy. The government's intent to support a robust telecom ecosystem is evident from the various policy reforms taken from time to time. National Broadband Mission, Jan Dhan, Aadhaar and Mobile, Digital India Initiative, National Digital Communication Policy, and other incentives under the Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign, such as production-linked incentive. We are confident that with these and more interventions in place, India will be really in a sweet spot to take advantage of the digital revolution across the world. I would like to conclude by highlighting that overall the future of India is, like I said, phenomenal. It's amazing. It's never been better, especially if you look at the digital outlook. 5G and plus technology as they evolve are key to our transformation. It would also help us reduce the gap between the urban and rural divide in India. It would also help us make sure that all of the social reforms that the government is planning and us as corporates are supporting are going to be implemented far more effectively and with greater reach and impact. So KPMG in India strives to deliver holistic thinking and insights for the telecom sector and is reinventing itself to enable a digital India to support the sector and of course the government in taking forward the vision of a truly connected India which is growing and is inclusive for all. Lastly, I would like to take this opportunity to recognize the telecom sector's consistent efforts and many thanks to IMC for organizing this event, for inviting me, And many thanks to the KPMG team for putting together a great show and making sure that this supporting IMC in this endeavor. Thank you very much and hope to be connected. And I'm hoping to be part of the whole program and seeing interesting topics and discussions going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mritunjay Kapur. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for the Emeritus Session of the 5th India Mobile Congress. Please remain with us as we move into the CEO Conclave, shifting priorities to adapt to emerging trends and tackle future challenges in just a few minutes.